So you've just bought a drone. After throwing the manual in the bin, you fly that drone 120 meters in the air and start rattling off photos. You have probably made the biggest mistake a new drone flyer can do. Let me explain. You've uploaded your images into Lightroom. Within a few moments, a slight wave of concern sweeps over you, a tickle of buyer's remorse. The images are not as good as you expected. Sure, they're technically sharp and well exposed and have great colour. However, all the images look very similar. None of them have any real focal point, any subject. You are now at a crossroads. We are sold on the hype that drones are aerial platforms that we can send up high in the sky and capture amazing vistas. To me, that's the wrong way to think of them. I think you should see a drone as a remote camera, not a flying one. A camera that can be flown high in the sky, but also down low into places you cannot get to. Once you get into that mindset, you will see your drone photography and video get much better. Before you do that though, make sure you understand all the safety aspects of flying a drone. Practice a lot. Find a large open field and fly your drone first high up, and then as you build confidence, bring it down lower and lower. If your drone has it, switch to a cine or tripod mode. This will limit the drone's speed. Gradually get lower and lower until you feel more comfortable flying at low levels. Make sure you know and understand all the legal limitations of flying a drone in your area. Once you are comfortable, it's time to get down low and slow. When you're flying low, good situational awareness is vital. Your drone is probably brimming with obstacle sensors. However, do not regard these indicators as lifesavers. They are not infallible. Many lower-end drones do not even have side sensors. You need to be very aware of this, as our depth perception is reduced to nothing after a few meters. If you're planning to fly a drone sideways, then yaw the drone around to do a visual check that nothing is obstructing your flight path. At low levels, drones can be very hard to see, especially against cluttered backgrounds. Your drone will almost certainly have a red and green light on the wingtips. Learn to look for those lights and you can understand the orientation of the drone from them. If you have an auxiliary LED light, switch it on. This will help you see the drone against any background. So with the safety and practicalities out of the way, let's look at low and slow shooting with your drone. And the first thing to remember is do not rush. Get as physically close to your subject as possible and fly carefully without dramatic movements. This will increase battery life. Have a set idea of a shot in your mind before you take off and set out to achieve that before you move on to other subjects. A little pre-planning with an ephemeris will help you see where the light will fall on your subject. Fly to your subject and slowly and carefully manoeuvre around it to find the best compositions. One tip is to have the majority of your camera settings locked in before you take off. At low levels, you can incorporate many different compositional techniques, leading lines, frames, and of course the ubiquitous rule of thirds. In many countries, it's possible to fly a sub 250 gram drone in towns and cities. This opens the door to some great architectural shots. We often have to point our cameras up to shoot buildings in a confined space. With the wide angle of a drone, we can rise a few meters and get square-on shots, eliminating converging parallels. Rivers are a great place to fly low. You can position the drone in places virtually impossible to reach by foot. Bridges close up and low-level shots of weirs can make for dramatic images. Talking of weirs, if you like shooting video, flying low and slow backwards over weirs and small waterfalls can make for some dramatic footage. Low and slow over ocean waves can look great too. Use a high frame rate to give the option to slow down the footage in post. Low-level silhouettes through trees can also make lovely shots. Be careful when approaching the tree for branches sticking out further than you might think. Derelict architecture is also a great subject for low and slow drone photography. You can access areas that are too dangerous to get to by foot. Be aware though, flying inside you will lose GPS connection, and this may reduce the stability of your drone. A drone will also allow you to fly close to subjects such as monuments and statues, rising to the main part of the subject and then positioning the drone for the best light. Drones are not just about flying high. With practice, by getting low and slow with your drone, you can capture some very unique images that would be nigh on impossible with your ordinary camera. If you're new to flying drones and have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, a like would be wonderful and a sub even better. I'll see you in the next one.